Chinese scholar arrested for smuggling pathogen into U.S. for agricultural terrorism. What have I been saying since the pandemic? China is our adversary. They are the ones that released COVID-19 onto the world. And they're trying to get back at us by doing this agricultural terrorism thing to try to destroy our foods, where we no longer have trust in our agriculture and things like that. It's disgusting. I've been warning about this for years. This is why we need to have these high tariffs on China to bring back all of our manufacturing back here to the United States, so we don't have to depend on the Chinese for this, because they do not have our best interests at heart. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, but before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Slay News, and they report that a Chinese scholar has been arrested after she was caught trying to smuggle a biological pathogen into the United States to be used for an agricultural terrorism attack. Youngquin Jian, a visiting scholar at the University of Michigan, was arrested and charged with attempting to smuggle a highly dangerous biological pathogen into the United States. The fungus is capable of crippling U.S. agriculture and posing serious threats to human and animal health, federal prosecutors revealed this week. That is scary. According to documents unsealed Tuesday in federal court, Jian, a researcher originally from China, and her boyfriend, Zhongzhong Liu, faced federal charges after attempting to bring Fusarium graminearum into the U.S. last July. Wow, so this was under Biden. We have to have some type of better vetting process. But no wonder it came in under Biden, though. We all know that the Chinese government own President Biden. The fungus that devastated staple crops like wheat, rice, barley, and corn. Quote, these two aliens have been charged with smuggling a fungus that has been described as a potential agro-terrorism weapon into the heartland of America, said U.S. Attorney Jerome F. Gorgon Jr., warning of the, quote, gravest national security concerns. They apparently intended to use a University of Michigan laboratory to further their scheme, he added, identifying at least one of the suspects as a loyal member of the Chinese Communist Party, of course. The dangerous fungus, which causes head blight in crops, is known to be responsible for billions in global agricultural losses annually. According to federal prosecutors, it can also cause vomiting, liver damage, and reproductive defects in both humans and livestock. Wow, that's scary. Liu Jian's boyfriend was intercepted by Customs and Border Protection officers at Detroit Metropolitan Airport carrying the pathogen into the U.S. When first questioned, he lied to officers about the reason for his visit and denied any knowledge of the substance. But under pressure, he confessed. Quote, ultimately, Leo admitted to smuggling the pathogen and stated that he brought the pathogen into the United States so that he could conduct research on it at a laboratory at the University of Michigan, where his girlfriend Jian worked, wrote an FBI special agent in the criminal filing. Federal officials say Jian, who earned a PhD in plant pathogens from Zhejiang University in China, was funded by a Chinese government-linked foundation to conduct postdoctoral research specifically on the Fusarium fungus. We need to just stop allowing these Chinese so-called scholars to come into our country, because it seems like how many reports have I done of Chinese spies coming in and infiltrating all of our major institutions? When is someone going to say, you know what, we're just going to stop allowing them into our country altogether? Someone has to do it. because they remember, again, these are the same people that released COVID-19 onto the world. We can't trust anyone from this country. I'm sorry. Y'all can call me whatever y'all want to call me. I'm just saying what I'm calling it for what it is. She is set to appear in court Tuesday afternoon. Disturbingly, this case marks the second criminal complaint in just 1 week involving a Chinese national at the University of Michigan. What is Whitmore and them doing out there at Michigan where they're allowing all these Chinese spies to come in and try to ruin our country? Last Friday, federal prosecutors revealed a Chinese student had illegally voted in the 2024 U.S. election. The student in the U.S. on a valid visa managed to obtain and cast a ballot in early voting last October before fleeing back to China. But according to Democrats, no one does this though, right? This is why we don't need ID, because no one goes in and do things like this, according to Democrats, right? The Trump administration reacted swiftly, announcing a crackdown on Chinese student visas and influence in the U.S. universities. Thank God. Someone is doing something about it. We know if Biden was in office, this wouldn't be happening. It would ignore it, just like they ignored that balloon that from China that traversed most of our country before they finally took it down. Quote, "We will not tolerate the Chinese Communist Party's exploitation of U.S. universities or theft of U.S. research intellectual property or technologies to grow its military power, conduct intelligence collection, or repress voices of opposition," a White House statement said. The administration also pledged to aggressively revoke student visas connected to foreign espionage or anti-American activity. As concerns mount over the Chinese Communist Party's infiltration of American institutions, from universities to elections, the University of Michigan appears to be emerging as a recurring weak point in U.S. homeland security. With agro-terrorism threats now in play, critics argue it's long past time for a full federal audit of foreign nationals operating in sensitive academic research, and it should be. I don't know why it hasn't been done yet. I mean, what is it going to take for us to do an audit and give the boot to a lot of these Chinese Communist Party infiltrators? Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Until next time, peace.